Jesus in John 14:12 said, "As I do these things, so shall you do them, and greater things, for I go unto my Father." Now again, I'm not a fundamentalist, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I know it's not fashionable to be Christian, especially because of the war on terror and how that's all got manipulated into the next crusade. But nonetheless, don't you think that maybe Jesus knew what he was talking about? Don't you think that maybe enough people witnessed what he was doing that this is based on real testimony and is not all a fabrication like some books have said? Whenever I would read one of these books that would start saying that Jesus was made up and it was fictional, I would start getting all these thought forms of evil. And I got messages saying, look, he was real. I mean, he got blown way out of proportion in terms of people making him into the only Son of God. That was never intended. Jesus would say, I'm the Son of Man. But what if this rapture thing is real? Well, you have a whole scenario in the book of Revelations describing an Antichrist, which had gotten worldwide power, that was wounded on the side and yet did live. And the mark of the beast on the forehead. The mark of the beast is people shutting down their third eye. It doesn't have anything to do with microchipping. None of that stuff is going to happen. They might want it to happen, they meaning Illuminati or those type of people, but it won't happen. I really don't see, prophetically speaking, a negative future for humanity. I see predominantly a positive future. I have had dreams in which the entire pantheon of neocons in the Bush administration ends up being held accountable for what they've been doing, which involves manipulation and control. I think we're heading into a very interesting time in the future. I do not see massive, irreversible economic collapse. The vast majority of people on the inside in both groups, the Majestic and the Illuminati, are now well aware of this 2012 thing that's going to happen. They only see it as a cataclysm, because when you're working from separation and control, some of the people that are on that path will probably experience pole shift. But you have this three-way split. So
what happens to the other two branches? Because you're talking about a three-way split, and you've talked about the good side.
Right. The vast number of people at this point, although it's changing, are stuck in what the Law of One called the miasma of indifference. What that means is the average person on this planet has not chosen whether they're service to self or service to others, meaning they have not chosen whether they want to manipulate people or whether they want to love people. That's what it really boils down to. Now, in the secret orders, you have some very cynical people in there. You're born into this thing where you're abused from the time you're born. You have to go to these rituals at night. You're seeing these slicers and dicers, as they call them in the lower echelons. But the vast majority of the people in the Illuminati don't like what's happening and would get out if they could. They don't like it. But they're stuck because if you try to escape, they kill you. You have to go to these meetings starting from 1:30 in the morning till about 4 o'clock in the morning. So you end up going to sleep with your clothes on 2 times a week, and you're indoctrinated with all this cult teaching, and they tell you you're going to be this wonderful leader in the new order, and they want to have control over the earth because they inherited this ascension prophecy. They know it's coming. That's why it's on the dollar bill. Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order. Annuit Septis, he has looked with favor on our beginnings. The pyramid, without the capstone, is 6-sided. Okay, you have the 4 sides, the bottom and the top. That's 6. What happens when you put the capstone on? How many sides do you get then? The top eliminates. You only have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the bottom is 5. In pyramid numerology, 6 means imperfection, evil. 5 means perfection and divinity. So the capstone returning to the pyramid represents the New World Order, the New Age, which originally was not a bad thing. So our insiders are now aware of this. People say, well, why are they deficit spending? Why are they running up the national debt so much? And why are they polluting the atmosphere and cutting down the rainforest and nuclear missiles and da-da-da-da-da-da-da? How can they be doing this? It's almost like they're not planning for the future. They don't think it's going to matter. Well, that's true. What does it matter if you pollute the earth? What does it matter if there's global warming? So this is what starts to make sense out of all the madness.